Hello and welcome to Calm the Pharm podcast, where pharmacy business meets legal wisdom, minus the headache. In each episode, we share practical legal tips and real-life examples to help you run your pharmacy with confidence. I'm your host, Sarah Stoddart. Thanks very much for joining us. Today we're talking about walk-in, walk-out contracts. Now, this is a term you might have heard on your business journey, but you're not quite sure what it really means. Well, that's what I'm going to explain today. There are essentially two forms of contract. One is a walk-in, walk-out contract and one is not. It is commonly or more commonly one that is not a walk-in, walk-out contract that is used for business transactions. And where you don't have a walk-in, walk-out contract, that means you've got a purchase price plus stock if your business carries stock, which of course pharmacies do, but other healthcare businesses don't. And then you've also got a raft of adjustments for various things relating to the business, floats, prepaid accounts, employee entitlements, etc. So where you work through a purchase price plus stock plus minus adjustments, that is not a walk-in, walk-out contract. And those, as I said, are the contracts we deal with most frequently. However, from time to time, you do have a walk-in, walk-out contract, and there might be various reasons for doing a walk-in, walk-out contract. Sometimes it is an internal transaction. Sometimes it's because the business doesn't really have much to it, so it might be just the sale of approval number, so to speak, and so it's easier to do a walk-in, walk-out contract. For a walk-in, walk-out contract, you have the purchase price, and that is really about it. So a walk-in, walk-out contract is most often used in the sale of a business, but it means the buyer takes over the business in its current state, with everything necessary to continue the operations included in the price. So by its very name, what it means is the buyer literally walk in to the business on the settlement date and the seller walks out. So everything is wrapped up in that purchase price, and the purchase price is therefore very important to determine correctly. So some of the key features of a walk-in, walk-out contract in Queensland are the inclusion of stock. So all stock in trade is included in the purchase price. There is typically no separate payment for stock, nor is there a stock take. So what is in the purchase price is what it is, and even though the stock amount fluctuates. You also have plant and equipment included. So all fixtures, fittings, tools, equipment necessary to operate the business are built into that purchase price, as is the goodwill, business names, customer records, IP, agreements, anything else needed in the business. So it really is a case of everything is built into that price. And like I say, that makes the calculation of the purchase price very important. Because if you are signing a walk-in, walk-out contract, particularly from a buyer's perspective, there's no opportunity later on to make adjustments for certain things that may have popped up along the way that you either weren't aware of or that have come unexpectedly. So the intention is for a walk-in, walk-out contract, the price is the price, and the buyer steps into running the business without interruption or any adjustments. On a normal business transaction, like I say, we typically don't see walk-in, walk-out contracts. However, if you are looking to enter into a walk-in, walk-out contract, it is very important that you do your due diligence beforehand and break it down so you've got your purchase price, you've got your stock, you've got what the adjustments on average are for the operation of the business, and use that data to inform your purchase price. Because once the purchase price is set, it is an all-inclusive price without adjustments. So therefore, it's important to get it correct and as accurate as possible. Take note too that you need to ensure your contract actually reflects the intention for it to be a walk-in, walk-out contract. So if that is your intention, make sure that is reflected in your contract and make sure both parties are on the same page, I suppose, with what that actually means. Because sometimes I see parties entering into a walk-in, walk-out contract, but then attempting to make adjustments down the line, and that's not how walk-in, walk-out contracts work. So as always, making sure that your intention is clear and communicated, and that you have the contract reviewed so that you can make sure it is actually reflective of what has been agreed between the parties. So that's all for today, a short and sweet one, but an important one to explain that a walk-in, walk-out contract is basically the purchase price and nothing else. What you see is what you get. If you're looking to enter into a contract where you've got the purchase price and then plus stock and then a heap of adjustments, that's not a walk-in, walk-out contract. And please make sure you don't enter into a walk-in, walk-out contract if that's your intention. Hope that's been helpful. I'll chat to you next week.